Have you ever found yourself getting into a certain circle, whether it's interning at a cool company, getting into an international class, or just hanging out with a friend's friends, and the moment you arrive, you instantly experience culture shock? You look left and right, and one person is talking about their back-to-back trips to Japan, another is flexing about getting an overseas scholarship, and someone else is discussing a crypto project, a new venture capital funding, or a billion-dollar startup using high-level tech jargon that you literally have to Google under the table just to understand. Technically, you're already sitting right there. You made the cut to be in that environment. But inside your head, your brain instantly switches to God-tier overthinking mode. Bro, what am I even doing here with my basic-ass self? Do I even deserve to sit at the same table as them? They are going to realize I don't belong here. You want to join the conversation, but you suddenly freeze up. You're scared of sounding irrelevant, scared of looking stupid, or scared that they'll find out you're not on their level. In the end, you just pretend to be busy scrolling through TikTok, checking WhatsApp over and over again even though you have 0 unread messages, or suddenly becoming very interested in ice cubes in your glass. Relatable, right? Today, we're going to have a chill deep talk about why we often feel insecure and unworthy in environments that seem above us, even though we've already successfully made it in. Why do we lock our own mouths when we should be networking? Let's break it down. First of all, what you're feeling is completely valid. It's called imposter syndrome. Simply put, it's a psychological condition where you feel like a fraud. You feel like your success in entering this amazing environment was just pure luck, a fluke, or a mistake by the system, not because you're actually competent. You're terrified that one day your cover will be blown and everyone will realize you're just average. I like to call it reverse star syndrome. If regular star syndrome makes you feel like you're the absolute best, this one makes you feel like you're the smallest, invisible speck among all the stars. It makes you feel like a glitch in the matrix. But let's look at it logically. You getting into that university, or landing that internship at that company, or being invited to that exclusive gathering, did it happen through black magic or a glitch? No, right? You went through the selection process, you submitted your CV, you passed the interview, or someone genuinely saw your vibe and invited you. The people who accepted you are smart. If they chose you, it means you actually have the value to be there. Their data says you belong. It's just your brain that's lagging behind. But why does our mind still reject it? Because since we were kids, many of us were raised in a culture of comparison. We were constantly compared to the neighbor's kids, our cousins, or random overachievers on the internet. As a result, when we grow up and meet people who are genuinely above us in terms of wealth or intellect, our brain automatically triggers that old defense mechanism. Your brain mistakes a high-achieving environment for a threat to your ego, so it tells you to shrink and hide. The second reason we feel so insecure is because we love to compare our chaotic, dramatic behind-the-scenes life with everyone else's curated highlight reel. Nowadays, it's so easy to be blinded by other people's achievements, especially on LinkedIn or Instagram. When you see an overachiever speaking so eloquently at the table, you're only seeing their final, ready-to-display version. You don't see them crying themselves to sleep last night because they were so stressed out over assignments. You don't see their failures, their rejections, or their burnout. When you see a rich kid wearing a fit worth thousands of dollars, you only see what they're wearing right now, without knowing the family burdens, the lack of genuine connection, or the heavy expectations they might be carrying on their shoulders. When you hang out, you immediately judge yourself. I'm so broke, I'm so dumb, I have nothing to offer. But here's the thing. The standard for being great or valuable in this world isn't just one-dimensional. Value isn't just about the size of your bank account or your GPA. Who knows, even if they're rich or smart in that specific field, they might actually admire your chill vibe, your emotional intelligence, or how good you are at breaking the ice and making people laugh. But because you're already blinded by your own insecurity, you shut yourself down, act cold, and end up creating your own distance. You reject them before they can reject you. So, how do we stop being just a prop or a ghost when we're hanging out in a circle that feels way above us? How do we actually start talking to them? Here are a few simple, actionable life hacks you can try right away. First, switch your mode from trying to look cool to being curious. Our biggest burden when we feel insecure is wanting to be acknowledged as cool or smart by them too. We stress ourselves out trying to think of a brilliant topic to say. From now on, drop that expectation. You don't need to impress them. Show up as someone who is curious and wants to learn. Smart or successful people usually love talking about their passions and being asked questions. It feeds their ego in a good way. So, instead of forcing yourself to look smart, just be an active listener. Ask open-ended questions like, "Hey, that project sounds crazy. How did you even get started on that?" Let them do the heavy lifting in the conversation. You just guide it. Second, normalize saying, "I just learned this." Don't be afraid to show that you don't know something. Somewhere along the way, we started believing that not knowing things makes us look stupid. It doesn't. Not knowing isn't a sin. Pretending to know is what gets you into trouble. If they're discussing a complex macroeconomic topic or an industry trend that sounds like a foreign language to you, don't fake it, because if you get caught or nod along blankly, it's going to be way more awkward. Just say casually with a smile, "Oh, sorry, I'm actually new to this topic. I've been focused on other things lately." What does that mean exactly? Sounds pretty interesting. People actually respect honesty, and they'll be more than happy to explain it to you. It makes them feel like an expert and makes you look like a secure person who is eager to learn. Third, stop idolizing people, because we're all human after all. No matter if they're a trust fund baby, have a perfect 4.0 GPA, or work at a prestigious multinational firm, remember this. They're still just regular humans. They still deal with crippling anxiety, they still get ghosted or dumped by their partners, they still get insecure about their looks, and when they're heartbroken, they still listen to sad Spotify playlists and cry in their rooms just like the rest of us. Don't build a hierarchy or a casta in your own head. When you stop putting people on a pedestal, the fear disappears. Just treat them normally, like any other peer. Talk to them about normal things, movies, music, food, because even high achievers get tired of talking about work and success all the time. Guys, listen to me closely. If you currently find yourself in an environment that feels too high, or too elite, for you, please don't rush to feel insecure and decide to ghost that circle. Don't leave the room. There's a reason you ended up there. Maybe the universe just wants you to expand your capacity. There's a beautiful quote by corporate trainer Michael Dell that says, "If you're the smartest person in the room, you're in the wrong room." Think about it. If you're always the smartest, wealthiest, or most capable person in your circle, your ego feels good, but you're never going to evolve. You're stagnant. It's precisely when you feel like the smallest, most clueless person in the room that you have the most room to upgrade yourself. That discomfort you feel? That's not shame. That's the feeling of your world expanding. It's a cheat code for personal growth. So, next time you're sitting at a table full of high achievers, don't shrink your shoulders. Don't hide behind your phone. Take a deep breath, fix your posture, put on your best smile, and just say, "Hey, what are we talking about?" You're already in the room, which means you earned your seat. Now, occupy it. What do you guys think? Have you ever felt like a fraud in a great environment, and how did you overcome that mental block? Share your stories in the comments below. Let's turn the comment section into a safe space for us to learn. If this video gave you a little boost of confidence, please hit the like button, share this with a friend who always underestimates themselves, and definitely subscribe so we can have more deep talks like this every week. Thank you so much for hanging out until the end. Stay confident, realize your worth, and bye.